It's Pentecost Sunday, the day when we remember that God sent the Holy Spirit to be with us. Do you remember how it happened? The Bible tells us that the believers were all gathered together in one place, and suddenly, a sound like the blowing of a violent wind came from heaven and filled the whole house where they were sitting. And they saw what seemed to be tongues of fire that separated and came to rest on each of them. Everyone was filled with the Holy Spirit, and many were able to speak in different languages. People from every nation heard their own language being spoken, and they came together completely amazed. Acts doesn't tell us that there was wind and fire, but something strange and mysterious and powerful happened that day. Wind and fire are metaphors trying to help us understand. The only way that the people could describe what happened that day was that it was like the wind and fire. What was important was that the people knew for sure that God was with them in a very special way. Even though Jesus had ascended into heaven, God did not leave us, and we aren't on our own. The Holy Spirit is with us. Through the Holy Spirit, God gives us power that enables us to do work on earth. And we're partners with God, working together to take care of God's earth and to work for God's kind of world, a world where everyone knows and loves God and each other. See, God inspires us and gives us talents and gifts and then works through us. God has something for us all to do. What kinds of gifts and talents has God placed in you? It's very important to identify those, but you might not know right off, and that's okay. God will help you figure them out along the way. Using the gifts and talents that God has placed in you and practicing them to get even better at them is important in partnering with God. Today, we're also recognizing our high school graduates as they complete their high school education and begin moving on to the next things in their lives. It's a huge milestone, and we celebrate with them. Graduates are asked to really figure out what gifts and talents they have, and then asked to really practice those gifts to become really excellent at using them in the world for God. That can be a bit overwhelming to consider, but it doesn't need to be, because the Holy Spirit is God with you, living in you, inspiring you, and guiding you. It's exciting, and we all look forward to seeing what each of our graduates, but also what each of you do for God.